Everybody has a day when the sun stays away, Onyeka Onwenu voiced as she advocated for one love. Sadly, 30th July 2024 happened to be that day for the ONWENU'S family as the elegant stallion took a bow out of the earth. The elegant stallion was not just a title, but a badge of honor earned as a proof of hard work by the last woman standing in the music industry and the one who laid the foundation for the new generation female singers. Onyeka Onwenu was born into the family of D.K. Onwenu, an educationist and politician. Defining her state of origin, she prefers to say that she is from Imo, Anambra, Rivers, and Lagos states. Being a native of Arondi Izuogo in Idiato North local government of Imo State, she was born in Obosi, Anambra State, her mother's state of origin. She was married to a Yoruba man, which was why she tied part of her origin to Lagos, and upbringing was the reason she considered herself to be from Rivers State, considering the fact that her mother, a notable businesswoman, had raised many children in the Rivers State community where they lived, the same town where her father served as a school principal before his appointment as Commissioner for Education. Being raised by a single mother taught her to take responsibility for her life, and that became one of the many principles that governed her life and part of the reasons she refused the government scholarship and decided to train herself while in school. Her wealthy Anambra mother always supported her father, who sadly passed on in an auto crash while she was 4 years old, and she applied this same support principle in her marriage. Love speaks the language of the heart and recognizes feelings, but fails to recognize religion, culture, and ethnicity. The wind of love blew, and Onyeka caught the feelings against geographical barriers. She got married to a Yoruba Muslim man who esteemed and appreciated her boldness and career achievements as one of the leading women in the entertainment industry. Onyeka was a trophy wife. But as months turned into years, that which meant the world to her husband began to lose its worth. The taste of love turned sour, ushering misery.
The reason I talk about it now is because I wrote it in my memoir, My Father's Daughter. And why did I write about it? Because I found that there were many women who had gone through what I had gone through, and that those women who could not speak out needed to be acknowledged that this is what's going on in marriages where there is emotional abuse, and that at a certain point, if you're strong enough, get out of that situation because it can finish you off. Men are afraid of women like me. They're attracted to women like me, strong women who are out there making their own way and not relying on anybody. I've always been from day one financially independent. And that's a pull for men. But when they come closer, the very things that attracted them are the very things they're jealous about. I had a problem because I was a public figure. And if I walk into a space, people immediately turn. It's only natural. But I was always that. I was already that before my husband met me. And that was one of the things that attracted him. Why? Because he thought that when he came to the house, there would be cars lined up waiting to see me. And he came, there was nothing, there was nobody. And suddenly he realized, oh, you're not what people think you are. You're really an exceptional private person. And that attracted him, that combination of you could be loud, you could be out there, but you're not. And that very thing, that charisma, that aura, was again what he felt uncomfortable with. And my dear, I could not help him with that. I'm not God. I did not give myself the aura. And when it was necessary for that aura to be used, put to good use for the family, it was. So how do you knock the very thing that saved your life, not on one occasion, but on many occasions? And that was what got to me, and I realized that I was being punished for being a strong and capable woman.
Onwenu lived a private life, which was why people almost knew nothing about her marriage until she authored her book, My Father's Daughter, which captured her life and career. It was after this time that she began to grant interviews revealing that she had lived in an abusive marriage for many years. One thing she was grateful for was the fact that her marriage gave her the opportunity to bond with her sons, despite living in depression and almost losing herself, until her mother intervened and requested for separation in the marriage. However, the marriage eventually came to an end only after an open abuse.
I'm talking about it because it's all in the book. So if you put it in the book and you ask me such a question, I'm going to answer you openly, and that's what I'm doing. And I have a lot of respect for you as a journalist. This is the truth. My mother had called my husband and said, look, you should go. You're not looking after my daughter. This woman has sacrificed this, sacrificed that, sacrificed how many years on your behalf. And now that you're able to, you're not helping her. You know that thing that you want to do, which is to leave, you can go ahead. Oh, that's my mother. That's Ochie Dike. And you know, that's an ONWENU woman. We don't put up with that. And I did for so long. And she watched me do it. And she understood why I needed to do it for my kids. But when she had had enough, she called a meeting and said to him to his face, you know, you can go. Yeah.
On her 50th birthday, her son wished for her to be happy again. And his wish made her decide to get back to her happy self. The public has over the years never failed to give their eyes to public figures, which breeds false assumptions and unending rumors. Onyeka had a slice of this cake as a public figure, as it was rumored that she was into a relationship with the likes of Olusegun Obasanjo, Fela Kuti, Sonny Okosun, and was said to be married to King Sunny Ade, whom she already had a daughter for.
You see, people knew that I was married. Those who needed to know knew. I didn't need to announce it to the world. Those who needed to know or who were close to me, they knew. They also knew I had these two boys. Even though some were saying I had a girl for Sunny Ade. Story. I did a song with Sunny Ade that suddenly we had a daughter. Anyway, leave that for another day.
The elegant stallion's voice had proven to be one of her most powerful advocacy tools. Having witnessed the Nigerian Civil War and worked with the war medical team in nursing victims, most of whom passed on in her palms, she decided to use her voice to speak for her people and demonstrated her affinity by starring in the movie Half of a Yellow Sun, which was an attempt to capture the event of the Civil War and the experience of the Igbo people.
Where are you coming from?
Studio? With that Yoruba boy?
Let me warn you. No daughter of mine will ever get married to a Yoruba boy. My friend, save up.
The men in high.
It's happened. There's been a coup.
What's happening in Lagos?
This is our beginning.
Stay just a little longer. He doesn't deserve it, you know.
Leave my son alone and tell your fellow witches you did not see him.
She also supported the development of her community by hosting free concerts to generate revenue for the construction of Imo Airport. Onwenu was the first woman from whose eyes the world saw Nigeria. Having graduated from Wesley College, Massachusetts, and returned for her mandatory NYSC program where she worked with the Nigerian Television Authority. She was selected for the Third Eye series by BBC in 1984, which gave her the opportunity to create the BBC NTA renowned documentary, Nigeria, A Squandering of Riches.
My name is Onyeka Onwenu. A few weeks before the coup, the BBC and Nigerian television asked me to report as a Nigerian television journalist on the situation in my country. Recently, like many Nigerians, I've felt frustrated and saddened by what has happened to us. We've had our independence for more than 20 years. By third world standards, we have a well-educated elite. We had a productive farming economy. We have minerals. And we discovered a few years ago that we had oil, a lot of oil. Yet today we're importing food that we should be growing. We are a bankrupt nation, and we have an international reputation for large-scale corruption. Many of our people are unhappy, and some even hungry. What has gone wrong? This is what I set out to explore. We sensed that change had to come to our nation, that our people wouldn't continue to accept the inefficient, corrupt civilian government of President Shagari. We were right. Before this film was completed, the coup took place. So our report, instead of being a prophecy, is now an explanation as to why the majority of my people, most of whom know what democracy is about and want it ultimately, welcomed yet another military takeover. I'm not a politician. I'm not an economist. The story I have to tell is a personal one about my hopes and fears for my country. Apart from journalism, I'm a singer, and I suppose this more than anything is my way of communicating my feelings. Yeah, I like that. Seem to have lost my way, yeah. Never be another day, never be another night of dreams. I write my own songs. This one we're rehearsing is both a love song and a song about my country.
The documentary began recording during the Shehu Shagari regime and overlapped into the military administration of Muhammad Buhari. It is disheartening to note that it became even more relevant in the years she passed on as Nigerians were warming up to state of protest against bad governance and corruption, which was the focal point of her documentary. She received recognition and global recommendation for this documentary across the globe, but was faced with threat and arrest from her home country over it.
A gentleman, again I won't mention his name, threatened me and said that it was over his dead body. He said, over his dead body will this film be shown in Nigeria. Okay.
But you talking about the threats, was it also from the government side? Did you get any?
Yes, I was. I was picked up by the SSS at the time, and I was questioned. And I remember the statements that I made out of naivety, but sometimes naivety is good. And that was where I said, look, the Niger Delta thing is real. It's either we deal with it or we pay the price. I said the agitation, the vehemence of it is real, it's palpable, I can feel it.
And it's one of the prices we're paying.
And it is. Don't forget I was born and raised in Port Harcourt, so I kind of, it's my area. And I was particularly concerned about the pollution that was going on. And I think we will be paying the price for that pollution for a long time to come.
Onyeka left notable footprints in different areas of art. She was a writer, journalist, singer, actress, politician, philanthropist, and an advocate. She made the first ever music collaboration in the Nigerian entertainment industry with King Sunny Ade.
Fine young girl, love is there for body. This thing they call love, no serious affair. Make you think well before you agree. If you not like, you go plan well. Oh yes, man. If you love me, you go wait
was in the cast of Lionheart, a movie produced by Genevieve Nnaji to honor legends who made her childhood memorable. And this movie also was the first Nigerian movie to grace Netflix. Had recorded and written over 200 songs and later resorted to singing gospel songs.
Businesswoman, you've always been able to do anything you put your mind to.
The legendary singer appreciated the fact that there were many rising female singers, despite having some reservations. Onyeka Onwenu had a strong passion for women's development and capacity building, and that made her devoted during her time of service as the Director General of the Women's Development Center. She was a member of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and has served as the chairman of the Imo State Council of Art and Culture after vying 8 times for the position of the local government chairman of her ward. At this time, the sun is staying away from the Onwenu, and we hope that they will take heart in tomorrow and always live as one.